Dámy a pánové, tento zpěvák nám slíbil město jako z Wakandy, které by bylo super futuristické, mělo by všechno všude, bydety do každé rodiny, místo toho ale postavil toto. Kdo by to byl čekal? Pamatuju si, že přednedávnem bylo docela žhavá téma město, které se staví v Saudské Arábii. Bylo by to město, které by bylo akorát dlouhé, mělo by několik pater, bylo by super futuristické, bylo by tam super nanotechnologie. Já vám něco řeknu, takovýhle města jsou vždycky akorát velký hoax a nedopadne to dobře. A dneska se jdeme na jedno z takových měst podívat, jak to teda celé bylo.
This Grammy-nominated singer promised to build a $6 billion futuristic city that was sold like a real-life Wakanda. However, 5 years later, one single building has been built. And somehow, there's also a bunch of angry investors who lost
Za 5 let jeden dům je docela wild, kámo.
everything in a failed cryptocurrency project. And this is all revolving this one building.
Jak dlouho ti zabere toto postavit? Pár měsíců, maximálně. A týpek tohle stavil 5 let? OK, dobře, chápu. Možná to bylo celou dobu akorát jeden velký scam. Kdo by to byl řekl, že?
One building. So today we're going to take a look at what in the tomfoolery happened here, because it's safe to say we have quite the insane story to talk about today. And before we dive into what's wrong, it's worth understanding why people took this project seriously in the first place. You see, Akon
To by mě fakt zajímalo.
isn't just some random celebrity making wild promises while throwing...
Hele, čete. Znáte ho? Já ho neznám. Já nevím, kdo to je. Já jsem akorát slyšel o tom městu, tak mě to zajímalo, ale Akona fakt neznám.
Throwing money around for publicity. He has a little bit of a track record for doing projects in Africa, which helped him get this contract to begin with. To go way back, he was born
Aha, Mr. Beast.
in Missouri and became a prominent name in the music industry after his single Locked Up gained popularity in 2004. However, although Akon is originally from Missouri, he actually grew up and spent part of his childhood in Senegal until he was 7 years old. So, more than a lot of people, he has some first-hand experience of what life is like without basic infrastructure, like most of us honestly kind of take for granted. So because
To je actually pravda, to je pravda. My si to neuvědujeme, ale máme super štěstí, že máme přístup k vodě, k jídlu. Teď nedávno dělal Mr. Beast nějakou obrovskou sbírku na to, aby se lidem, co právě dostup k vodě nemají, aby se jim zpřístupnil. Nevím, já jsem si to nedávno jako začal uvědomovat, že actually jsme privilegovaní jak svině. Narodit se v Česku je docela W.
of this, growing up, he experienced what it was like living in complete darkness once the sun went down. No running water, no electricity, and no power grid, with local businesses shutting down at night. Families were forced to use candles and kerosene lamps to get everything done, which was not only inconvenient, but dangerous as well. Moving forward, in 2014, after establishing himself in the music industry, Akon launched this project called Akon Lighting Africa, in which he proved that he could deliver significant benefits to these people, not only in the country that he grew up in, but also across the...
To je super. To je actually super. To vždycky rád vidím, když jdeš zpátky, odkud si přišel a dáváš zpátky komunitě. Třeba dělal podle mě ten 6ix9ine. Měl nějaký song, že Taty podle mě, a pak tam takhle chodil a dával tam všem keše. Banger.
the whole continent. And this is where things actually started to get a little bit impressive, because just in the first year, he brought solar energy to 14 different African nations. There were certainly critics who questioned various aspects of the project, especially its involvement with Chinese government-owned construction firms. But still, ultimately, it was the communities themselves that
Má to jedno, stejně to W, jakož na konci dne týpci prostě mají světlo, mají vodu, to je W, je to jedno, odkud přišly ty peníze, ne potom. Takže asi úplně jedno to není, ale jako chápeme se, že?
benefited the most. You see, solar electricity enabled vendors to operate longer hours, allowed kids to study after dark, and provided solar-powered streetlights, which in turn decreased crime rates due to increased visibility. So by 2016, Akon Lighting Africa had installed 100,000 solar-powered street lamps and 1,200 solar microgrids, creating more than 5,500 jobs in the process, and as a result, an estimated of 28.8 million people gain access to electricity.
Ten týpek actually nastartoval ekonomiku v Africe, jebeti.
Due to his efforts. And obviously, that's not nothing. That's worth giving praise for, and it was...
To je jakože fakt. Ten týpek zajebal.
This success that gave him the credibility to pitch his next very grand project. So when Akon announced he wanted to build an entire city, people listened. Following the success of the lighting project, Akon went on to this publicity tour in 2020, and during this, he announced this futuristic utopian city called Project Akon.
From what I understand, the president of Senegal gave you 3 square miles of land.
Well, this is the thing. I had to actually buy the land, so it wasn't gifted to me. What the president and the government are doing, they're actually laying the foundation for all the infrastructure, like the basic sewage, electricity, all the things that have to be set forth for me to build the city on top of. And they give me 100% full, support.
So it's going to include roads, a hospital,
Right.
houses,
Right.
hotels,
Hotels,
a police station,
Yeah.
a waste facility,
Yeah.
a school, and a solar power plant, of course.
Solar power plants, theme parks,
Theme parks.
all that, man.
Parky zábavy. Co parky? Cože? Zábavní parky. Co melu? Párek zábavy, holy shit. Zábavní parky. OK. Big dreams, big dreams.
Boat docks.
And it's called Akon City.
It's the Akon City. Yeah. That's phase 1, though.
You see, the plan here was to build the city on a 3 square mile plot, approximately 60 miles from Dakar, or Senegal's capital. And even though 3 square miles might not sound huge,
3 čtvereční míle? Co jsou 3 čtvereční míle? Jako 3/4 míle?
that's roughly 6 times the National Mall in Washington, D.C. And this was
Nebo 34 míle? To jsem nepochopil.
supposed to be, phase 1 of a multi-phase plan that would eventually expand much further. The renderings honestly kind of look promising. Modern skyscrapers here, futuristic architect, green spaces, honestly everything you
Kámo, sorry, ale tohle vypadá jak vibrátory. Já bych nechtěl žít ve vibrátoru, kámo. Vypadá to fakt divně.
here, futuristic architect, green spaces, honestly everything you would expect from a city that's essentially being branded as like Africa's Dubai
To je pravda, to je pravda. To je jako, vypadá to tak, to vypadá jak prostě z filmu, kámo.
and the real life version of Wakanda. And the city was designed to have 5 distinct districts. You have this African village district that would feature modern waterfront homes and a sprawling all-inclusive resort.
Říkám Open Bazaar, říkám restaurant, resort, co jsou chalec. Okay.
Then you would have the entertainment district, which would house a cutting-edge multi-purpose stadium,
Let's go, samozřejmě tam je kasino. Švestičky, třešničky, dej mi to všechno.
casino. Then you have the tech district that was supposed to become like the Silicon Valley of Africa, where groundbreaking technologies would emerge to help save the future. Then you would have the health and safety district that would provide essential services like police stations, fire departments, and a
Taky to vidíte? Taky to vidíte, čete?
general hospital. Then you would have the education district that would offer comprehensive learning opportunities for children and adults. And finally, the Senwood district. That would be filming studios, offices, and residential spaces, all topped off with the Akon Tower, which would rise above the whole skyline. But if that doesn't sound bold enough, there were some red flags that started waving on the horizon
To vypadá dobře.
because shortly after the announcement of this new project, Akon also revealed that this city, it would operate with its own currency, or even
Řekni kryptoměnu, kámo, a je mi to jasný.
better, it would operate with its own cryptocurrency.
OK, chápu. Dobře, byl to prostě rakpol, kámo. On začal celou svoji hudební kariéru jen aby mohl rakpolnout ty největší investory. Prostě frajer, kámo. To byl celý plán od začátku.
Called Acoin. Acoin
Actually, OK, to je banger jméno, actually.
was intended to be a stellar-based cryptocurrency specifically designed for African entrepreneurs. And as soon as you attach identity to money, you pretty much know it's a scam. It was
Já si myslím, že krypto je actually goated, mám rád krypto, ale buďme upřímní, jestli se řekne slovo scam, tak krypto je první, co sám jakože vybaví a právem. Myslím si, že za 10 let to bude jakože v nějakém použitelném stavu, kde jakože se to může nějak začlenit do normálního života lidí, ale kámo, teď krypto to je akorát velký prostě balík pro skemery. What the fuck?
pitched like it would serve as like a more stable common medium of exchange between Africa's 54 countries, many of which struggle with high volatile local currencies. And
A to je actually pravda, A takhle, já jakože občas scháním editory na nějaký jakože kanály a týpci tam nemá ani PayPal, takže jakože občas jim to musím poslat v kryptu, takže tohle, jakože z tohle toho úhlu pohledu to dává smysl.
while that may be true, there's nothing like trying to combat volatile local currencies with a speculative low-cap crypto coin.
Nápad dobrý, chápu narrativ, ale celý to podání je hodně fishy.
Come on! This has scam written all over it. That's just my opinion, though. And now, to be fair, Africa has a massive problem with banking. So, using
Vy, když posíláte někam peníze, třeba prostě přes bankovní účty, ty banky se navzájem musí jako kamarádit. A v Africe není, takhle, já třeba chci poslat z Česka do nějaké super, kámo, třeba, nevím, nějakého afrického státu, neznám státy v Africe, sorry. Takže já pošlu z Česka, to se pošle do centrální africké banky, potom do nějaké víc lokální banky, potom ještě do jiné banky a potom do té, které to jako konečně potřebuju. A když chci poslat peníze třeba do Slovenska nebo do Německa, tak se to pošle z české banky do německé banky. Chápeš? To je jedna transakce, tam zaplatím jedno fíčko. Chill. Když pošlu peníze do Afriky, tam těch fíček naskáče, že hrozně moc, protože tam je hrozně těch transakcí mezi bankami. Takže tohle dává actually smysl. Tady to dává smysl. Ale je to scam. Ale dává to smysl. Chápeš.
Digital currencies and apps makes sense rather than traditional banking. But
Pravda.
that doesn't mean that you go ahead and launch some low cap coin and saying that it's going to be the currency of the city that hasn't even been built yet. That just comes across as a massive cash grab and scam. But just like basically everything else I cover here on this channel, it gets worse. Because before launching Acoin on a major cryptocurrency exchange, Akon's team announced a campaign called Token of Appreciation. And this was treated like a donation drive where people could, I guess, get early Acoin. So
Je to scam, čete, je to v píči.
donors here, they were promised 4 Acoins for every dollar they spent. So when Acoin finally launched on major crypto exchanges in early 2021, it peaked at about 58 cents per coin. And for the token of appreciation holders who bought it early, they made about 130% gain until, you know, the thing that always happens with these coins when it inevitably
Rug pull.
dumps. Yeah, it didn't take long. The price began spiraling down roughly to 10 cents per coin.
To je divný, protože vole, když chceš udělat actually prostě coin, který by lidi používali jako měnu, tak musí být stabilní, takže uděláš stablecoin. Ta cena se nesmí hýbat, kámo. Jsou stablecoiny, který se prostě pohybují okolo $1. Dá se to dělat dobře, ale týpek prostě chtěl všechny skemnout. Mně je to jasný.
And then the TOA holders went from like 132% gain to a 60% loss practically overnight. People were understandably very upset about it.
No, hlavně lidi jsou dementi. Dobře, já chápu, že týpek prostě nějaký rapper, týpek tamhle staví vesnice v Africe a ty řekl, že postaví město, tak bychom mu mohli věřit, ale pro boha, ty lidi bydlí pod kamenem, nebo tohle byl jasný scam od začátku. Mně těch lidí není líto, mně není líto těch lidí, kámo. Jestli se necháš skemnout od nějakého influencera, rapera, kohokoliv, seš prostě dement, kámo, a zaslouží si to. Příště si to ještě 2x, 3x rozmysli radši. Ať se ponaučí hlavně.
But no fear, because Acoin admins, they offered refunds to the initial donors. And
Ne, žádný peníze nevrátí, kámo. Je to jenom PR stunt takzvaný.
when Akon was directly asked about these refund issues, this was his response.
Were you aware of that?
Now that I wasn't aware, because I know all the people that I knew that was on record. We definitely met with everybody, and this was the agreement that was actually agreed on. So if there was anyone outside of that, I definitely wasn't aware.
And those people who asked for their money back and were expecting it a year ago, when will they receive their money?
Well, that I'm just literally on everything finding out. So I'm gonna definitely get more involved and figure out what that's about. But we do have instruments in place to make sure those people are happy, even if I gotta go in my own pocket. I'm dead serious.
You'll pay out of your own pocket.
Hell yeah, I would, because they believed in me. Why wouldn't I?
Já budu hádat, nezaplatil dodnes, že?
Okay, that was kind of an evil laugh, and I couldn't find any proof of him paying anyone back.
Mně to bylo jasný, kámo. Mně to bylo jasný.
So, take that how you want, but he's claiming he had no idea there was problems with the refunds, which, I mean, you know, if you're running some cryptocurrency project, it seems like, number one, that's something that shouldn't really happen, but if it is happening, you should probably be aware of that.
Jo, to je jako, what the fuck. Nedělej, že tam máš za stolik práce, kámo, když za 5 let si postavil jeden barák. Ježíš, koho se to snažíš obalomotit, kámo? Co to je?
Obviously, it just gets worse because the coin eventually crashed to fractions of a cent, representing essentially like a...
Pojďme se kouknout, jak na tom je teď. Acoin. Kde je? Čete, on neexistuje. Čete, oni ho zabanovali? Co se děje? On už neexistuje. On už neexistuje, what the fuck? OK, brácho, to jsem v životě ještě neviděl.
It just gets worse because the coin eventually crashed to fractions of a cent, representing essentially like a complete loss for all the investors. And currently, Acoin isn't even listed on any cryptocurrency exchange. You can
Ne asi.
can't buy, sell, or use it anywhere. It's
Tak když že ty si ho koupíš, on to spadne a říkáš si, dobře, to ještě pumpne a on prostě zmizí, kámo. A co s tím pak má dělat? What the fuck?
completely worthless. While that was going on over here, what was
No,
happening
dobrá práce, Akone. Dobrá práce.
with the actual construction of the city? Well, if you want the short answer,
Nic.
nothing. Absolutely nothing. Look at this. This is an embarrassment.
Kámo, to je, že nic. To je fakt nic. To je prostě, že, nevím, pár týdnů práce prostě. Nevím, kámo, to je unluck, no.
Almost seems like the
Mně je líto těch investorů.
entire Akon City project was announced and promoted so they could pump and dump a crypto coin. Keyword, seems like. Don't sue me. I don't know, I'm just calling a spade over here. But obviously, remember those futuristic renderings and promises of a completed phase 1 by 2024? Yeah, there's a picture that recently went viral showing the current state of Akon City, and it's depressing. And
Ty pičo, to je, kámo, to je fakt wild tohle. To je fakt insane obrázek. 5 let se tohle stavilo, chápeš?
that's putting it lightly. And apparently this building is a recreational center. An unfinished recreational center. Nice. $6 billion. And this is all they got. I've seen
7 miliard korun. Kolik to sakra je korun, kámo? Miliard dolarů a kolik je to v korunách? To 41 miliard korun. Ty koko. To je hodně peněz už. To je hodně kebabů. Imagine, kolik je to actually kebabů? Skvělá otázka, pojďme si to spočítat. 6 miliard dolarů. Aha. 3, ok. 1,13 miliardy kebabů. Holy shit. Ty vole, že by to radši zainvestoval tam Akon. Ne. On si postaví tady, kámo, že tohle. Tenhle dům stojí 1,13 miliardů kebabů. Insane.
finished recreational center. Nice. $6 billion. And this is all they got. I've seen Amish people put up a house in like 48 hours. Meanwhile, this is what we got for $6 billion. But I mean, hey, at least construction has begun. The first phase was supposed to be built on 55 hectares of land, eventually expanding to 500 hectares by the end of the decade. Instead, we got one
To asi nestihne, myslím, čete. Mám takové jako tušení, že to asi nestihne. Nevím proč.
building in a bunch of empty fields. So Senegal's tourism board, SAPCO, was actually backing the project, and they were initially all in on supporting Akon. However, by 2024, SAPCO allegedly began to lose patience with the lack of progress. They reportedly sent Akon a formal notice that if the project hasn't advanced by the end of the year, his contract would be terminated. And looking at this this single house that's sitting on this plot of land, it
Já si myslím, že to asi nestihne, čete. Něco mi našeptává do mého ouška, že to nestíhá Akon.
looks like that's exactly what happened. Because according to blackenterprise.com in August of 2024, Akon was warned that missing deadlines and payment schedules to SAPCO could result in forfeiture of the property. And since Akon missed those payments, most of the land was reclaimed by the government. Okay, so we have this guy whose name I'm not even going to try to
Já to zkusím. Serigne Mamadou. Serigine Mamadou Mbaup. Všichni v pohodě, kámo, co je na tom?
pronounce because I don't want to offend him. But he's the head of SAPCO, and he made it official. I guess instead of this like new futuristic
Co je sapka? To je jakože nějaká australská vláda?
mega city, SAPCO
Teda
is now
africká.
planning to spend about $1.2 billion transforming this area into a more traditional tourism hub, featuring hotels, apartments, a marina, and a promenade connecting a nearby lagoon. So the government expects a new plan to create approximately 15,000 jobs in the first phase, a figure that may actually materialize, unlike, the Akon City promise. So Mayor Alpha Sam seemed pretty relieved about this new direction, saying, and quote, "May this resort serve as a model for success in Senegal, a hub of tourism and a source of economic opportunity." And Jean Wally Sine, a local school teacher and resident, probably summed up how everyone was feeling. For a very long time, people, including Akon, have been coming and trying to sell us dreams and illusions. Finally, there's a dream for Mubadeen that we dare to believe in. But ultimately, in a surprising turn of events, during a recent interview on Mina's House podcast, Akon claims the reports about the city construction being canceled are simply media misinformation, and that
Bro, doslova žije v deluzi, jebeti.
despite any article The project is still ongoing.
Listen, I got teams on it trying to combat all the negative false information that these people are putting out. And just last week we had over 23 million false ads on Akon City, just negative.
Where is that coming from?
It's the agendas, the powers that be.
Kampaň. Je to kampaň, šéfe, jasně, chápem.
Ah,
That's how it works.
okay.
You know, when they want to destroy something
Jo, ta týpka ví, že kecá jako život.
that can change the minds or the mindset of people, that's how they do it, through the media.
So according to Akon, all of the reporting from BBC News and all the other outlets about the project being canceled is merely propaganda intended to discredit the project and discredit Africa as a whole. Okay. He's not providing specific details about the construction progress, timelines, or address.
Prostě lžou. Jakoby doslova za 5 let jsem postavil jeden kámo jednu budovu, ale oni lžou. Jasně, kámo.
The fact that Sapco has officially stated that the project no longer exists. Instead, he's talking about dreams becoming reality and saying there's some sort of coordinated misinformation.
Prostě Mr. Japper, no, je mi to jasný. Kámo, tohle asi bude celé. Když tak napište do komentáře, co si o tom myslíte. Jestli jste třeba týpka znali, já ho neznal. Toto je fakt wild. No, co si budem. Dobře, čete, nashledanou, mějte se, hezký den.